Okay. Okay. Can you hear me? Am I coming in clear? Hello, coach. You amazing, wonderful, magical, delicious, effervescent, rock and roll and knock their socks off coach. Yes, you. You know, I'm talking to you. And today I want to talk to you about the world of listening. Now, hold on, before you click off of this, because like, oh, I already know all about listening. I listen all the time, and I know that you already know all about coach listening. This is not that. I'm going to be going in a completely different directions. I'm going to hopefully be saying things that you either forgot or you didn't even know was there. Because my job, I'm an MCC coach, yes, but my job is to grow coaches, to stretch beyond the norm of where we typically sit in our coaching. I'm here to challenge you. I'm here to grow you, even with these messages or these videos. Now, why listening? Well, because it's in tandem with the Coaching Skills Forum calls. So, it's perfect timing. We are going to be talking about listening on those calls coming up in July. If you're watching this kind of close to that time, go check it out. I highly recommend you do it. And I can tell you, it's not going to be a coach listening call that you're familiar with. It's going to be completely different stuff. Why? Because coaches from all over gather on a conference line and we explore one small skill of our coaching in deep, powerful, provocative, challenging, stretching, growing conversations. These are the calls that 20-year coaches and MCC coaches go, whoa, I hadn't thought about it that way. So get on these calls. More information at coachingskillsforum.com. And today, I'm going to share you with some of my little insights. These are things that when I'm working with coaches, mentoring, or in the classes that I teach, or in anything, I'm really challenging and stretching us to go beyond where our basic and even upper levels of coach training end. Let's look at what listening is all about. Now let's put it into a different context. Listening is not just hearing words and things through your ears, like you're hopefully doing right now with me talking. So it's more than just that. If we look at listening as actually the act and the art of receiving, that's what this is really all about. It's all receiving information, receiving data, receiving stimuli. You're receiving vibrations and energy and everything that's coming to you in the form of sound. In this case, words, right? This is when we're listening, we are receiving. Now, more than just hearing words and kind of they're coming in, it's also about being intentional and open and focused in the purpose and the action of listening, rather than the passive listening that I do a lot of, but not a lot in coaching, but in my day-to-day life. It's sometimes it's hard to pay attention to all of that deeply. But when we're talking about coach listening, we're talking about intentional, purposeful, open, flowing, receiving of information. And this is really important because we're actually going beyond just hearing words, beyond just hearing sounds. See, we hear a lot about in coaching, well, we hear a lot of sort of cliched descriptions of coach listening. Oh, you're listening to the words that are not being said. You're listening for the okay, you're listening for the absence of something, which is really difficult to do, but you're listening to notice that there's an absence of something. You're listening, recognizing that there is a passive or a generality, or that there's something that's inside that needs to be spoken. How do you know this? Because you're listening to other things. You can't listen for a nothing. You can't receive non-information. But what you can do, and what you are doing in your coaching all the time, is you are receiving stimuli beyond the words. You're hearing the inflections, the intonations, the words that they happen to be stressing, the emotion that's there, the passion, the fear, the hesitancy, the pacing, the cadence, the rise and the fall. You're the stumbling over the words. You're hearing all the ways that they are conveying their information and experience to you, right? Because that's really what we're listening for. We're listening for their expression of their experience, right? Making sense? Which means more than just words and more than just the things they aren't saying or the unspoken or the emotions, obviously, but we're listening for their expression of their experience. And that, dear coach, is when we start hearing or listening to those things that aren't being said because we're picking up something else, including not just intellectual describing, sharing thoughts, ideas, memories, stories, all that stuff conveyed by talking. We're also listening, receiving their emotions, as I mentioned. We're also listening with our eyes. This is why listening is very limiting in its description, because we're actually receiving data, we're receiving impulse, we're receiving information from their physical expression. When they're slumped over, that's telling you a lot. When they're sitting up straight, when they're leaning in, when they even just kind of tilt their head slightly or furrow their brow or something, they're giving a physical signal that there's something here that's not being said. You get where that's going? And energetically, there's unspoken beliefs, their spirit, their mode, where they're in. And I'm going to get to it in just a second, but when we talk about their negative, defeated, victim, human, struggling hard, they're going to have a different energy about them. When they're positive and engaged and connected and flowing, they're going to have a different energy about them. You will see it all the time if you're just in the place of receiving information. You're going to pick up so much more. And now let's really get to the second part of this call, which is all about the core principles of masterful coaching. Look, if you've watched these videos before, if you've received this information that I am expressing to you about the core principles of masterful coaching, you know where I'm going. If this is your first video that you've seen of me, you're receiving this information, please receive this. Because, right, even the word receiving is a welcome, open, intentional, I am here to take what you are giving. It's so much more important than just listening. Listening is level one. Receiving is so much deeper. And this is where we get to tie in the core principles of masterful coaching. The first letter of each of these words spells out the word core, and it's going to make sense. The CO in core is all about connecting. We must connect with our clients in coaching. If we're not connecting, then we're not coaching. And one of the deepest, easiest ways to connect is not to listen, to receive. I am here to take whatever you have to give me. I mean, think about it. If your client is shut down, stuck, frustrated, not talking, well, then there's nothing to listen for. But if you're receiving, if you're picking up, you're accepting and embracing all of the information and data that they are expressing out, including shut down, stuck, empty, dry, lost, confused, overwhelmed, whatever it is, you are receiving it willingly, openly. And what an amazing way to connect with your client. We're going to get to sending out, which is the other part of receiving, right? That's where we ask questions. That's where we share what we're noticing. And you can only do that by receiving deeply. When I'm mentoring coaches, especially to like MCC level, this is where I push and tweak them even deeper into their coaching skills by actually receiving rather than listening. That's how you create a deep connection with your clients. And notice, right, chicken egg, because if you're in a place of really deep receiving, connection is easy. Tell me more. Notice more, see more, experience more, receive more. And of course, when you're in a place of listening actively, listening deeply, listening powerfully, listening at level 1, 2, and 3, global, universal, expansive, spacious, whole listening, I don't care what you call it. This is beyond that. And that is where you have deep connection instantly. And you also have the R in core, the second principle, revealing. Notice. You're listening. You're receiving as an art, as a skill of revealing your clients. Listen. Notice. And obviously share what you're receiving. That's the way that they know they've been heard. They know that they've been received. Oh, please, don't receive your clients by the standard unconscious automatic, yeah, yeah, yeah. That is conveying, I'm not listening to you, even when you are. Because it's just an unconscious automatic habit. If you're listening, if you're truly deeply receiving, you can respond. You can do those little vocal recognitions. But at some point, that listening is all about receiving and revealing. The second principle, revealing. Because that's really what you're listening for. You're not listening for the surface crap. You're also listening for me knocking over things. You're not listening for all the surface crap. You're not listening for their stories and the rehashed things that they're in around and around and that they've revisited over and over again ad nauseum. You're listening for all the things that they don't talk about. They don't even talk about or express to themselves. You're listening to all the things that they keep hidden. That's deep listening. And that is where you start revealing beautifully. Oh my goodness. And that points you right to the E principle, which is all about empowering. Every single one of us, every single person on the face of the earth just wants to be seen, heard, recognized, and valued. Notice how almost all of them are tied in with this receiving, seen, receiving, heard, receiving, recognized, valued. And every single time we receive, we listen deeply and fully and powerfully in our coach-like design. Every time we do that, we are pointing the client back into their powerful selves, to their just infinite, always power. Now, look, if some of this is not making sense, that's okay. I appreciate you listening. Contact me. Come back. Reach out. Let me work with you. Complimentary call. I'm here to help you. Come to the Coaching Skills Forum calls. Go to coachingskillsforum.com and get on these calls. Oh, by the way, they're free. They're amazing. And you will listen to things that you have never heard before. all for the purpose of you being a better coach, all for the purpose of you showing up much more powerfully in this world so that your clients and everyone else waiting to come to you can truly feel heard and seen. Practice more than just listening. Listening is for small coaches, for basic coaches. You are not that. You are here for more. Open up and receive. And I look forward to giving you more to receive on the next video. Because, by the way, there's more listening in part 2 coming up next week. So until then, practice this. Even outside of coaching, practice your deep listening, your full receiving. If it helps, close your eyes. If it helps, shift your focus or eye contact or something, but allow your listening to go beyond your ears and go into all your other senses, primarily seeing, but also could be touch, could be that you're listening for other things outside of you, listening for the energy, listening for the world, listening for those little signals and hints from the universe, whatever it is that you subscribe to. Oh, man and woman and everybody else. There is so much to listen to. So practice listening, and I will see you on the next one. Contact me, come to the Coaching Skills Forum. And until then, I wish you incredible, amazing, delicious, deep, receiving, listening coaching. Bye-bye. Hey there, you beautiful, amazing, fantastic, delicious, razzle-dazzle, and masterful coach. Yes, you, masterful coach, because you're watching this, which tells me you are a masterful coach. There's more to learn, and that's where I come in. Go to bedo.org. You'll also see it right here. And go to bedo.org, and that's where you're going to find tons of other materials, resources, videos, recordings, audios, free calls, a free membership level, tons of stuff, incredible amounts of materials just for you. Regardless of whatever level of coach you are right now, you are going to find tremendous value and resource. And it's all here at bedo.org. bedo.org. Go check it out, and I will see you there.